The reason you are so stifled and tense socially is because you are hiding something. There is something, an authentic part of you, that if it were to be seen, you would be rejected. So you have to hide it at all costs. So ask yourself, what is that something you are hiding? What is a completely unacceptable part of you? Such a critical piece of information, such a detrimental part of you, that in order to hide it, it's worth sacrificing your authenticity, betraying yourself, and then turning it around. Ask yourself, what's the ideal you in social situations? What is the hero version of you? If everything goes right, if people love you completely, how do you behave? And figure out also all those characteristics as detailed as possible, and even figure out how people react to you. How do they feel? How do they act in reaction to who you really are and how you behave? And then take a step back and take a moment and realize that the expectations are sky high. Like, the expectations are so unrealistic. Even the best socializers you have in mind would struggle and wouldn't be able to live up to those expectations. So why do you condemn yourself to such a horrible fate? Because those great socializers you thought about previously, they have no expectations, and that is why they are able to be such great socializers. They are able to just be, not live up to some expectations, right? Because the higher the expectations you have, the more tense you become and the more you move away from who you authentically are. If you end up scamming people, succeeding into scamming people to love and accept someone you're actually not, then you always have to live up to those expectations even more. Because if you don't, then you will be rejected, right? And this ideal is so messed up because when creating this ideal, those expectations, right, you take the best features, the best behaviors of the people around you, and you put them on a pedestal. That is your ideal. But those people are only showing that like 5% of the times. But you end up judging yourself for not living up to that 100% of the times, which is brutal and unfair. You even ignore other people's flaws. You only take their positives, you put them out there into this fake persona, fake ideal, and then you criticize yourself. You only see your vulnerabilities, your flaws, and your self-image becomes one of a caricature of your flaws. You should also realize that socialization is not like any other niche skill you could develop in life. And I believe this is a huge issue in our world right now. That's why there is this term of social skills. It assumes that you could be good or bad at socializing, that you can have a lower or higher level of these social skills. But in truth, socializing is not about having that skill. Socializing is just being yourself. That is the cornerstone of socializing. So the assumption of social skills is flawed from the start. When you are yourself, there is no good or bad way of doing it. Like, the only wrong way of doing it is being someone you're actually not, disowning your authenticity and putting up that persona. As cliche as it sounds, the advice just be yourself is the best one possible. Because when you are yourself, you are relaxed, you are grounded, and you are confident. But people always make this mistake because when they imagine themselves just being themselves in social situations, they imagine talking about their weird passions, like let's say bird watching, or they say a weird joke. And instantly they imagine how bad they end up feeling, how rejected and judged they end up feeling after other people react to their authenticity. But that is against the rules from the kickoff. That is not being yourself, because if you are in reaction to other people, you are by default not being yourself. When you are yourself, you are grounded in your authentic shell. When you are grounded in your authentic shell, the opinion of others doesn't matter because it's not about them, it's about you. That's the only thing that matters. You being yourself is you being confident in who you really are. That is why the premise of just be yourself is true. But if you keep adapting your personality and your behaviors to other people's reactions, you are living in reaction. Instead, you should be proactive and live for your pleasure. Live life for yourself ultimately, not for them. Now, if you keep adapting yourself to their feedback, even if you do it to perfection, you will always keep hearing that voice of authenticity, criticizing, crying, begging you to return to the way you are meant to be in the first place. And all sorts of issues arise from there in all areas of life, like health, wealth, relationships, whatever you want. So take the courage to be more vulnerable, give yourself permission to be you, and don't lower your standards. Destroy them completely and just be.